the biggest difference between our concept and our competitors, there's other salon suite businesses that have like 200, 250 locations, right? The biggest difference is we do it a little different. Instead of furnishing every suite, so instead of putting like a shampoo bowl and a dryer and a chair in every suite, we actually do majority unfurnished suites. And so I did a poll with a lot of people in Georgia, a lot of beauty professionals in Georgia, and asked them, did they prefer furnished or unfurnished? Majority unfurnished because they really want to customize it. They want to bring an orange chair, a purple chair instead of our standard black chair. So that's the biggest difference. So what we do is we just create a share space. We put like a little corner, put some shampoo bowls and some dryers in there, and they can use that space. So the benefit of that is that we save a lot of money in the build out because we don't have to run plumbing through every suite. We don't have to furnish every suite. But it also allows the beauty professionals to really just be social and get to meet each other. Instead of being so private, you never have to go out your suite. So then they become friends. Like we're clicked up over there. So everybody's friends. They don't want to leave. Our turnover rate is super low. So it's a win-win for both of us. You know, they could be private and they can step out, have a little conversation, go back to their room. So that's how we make up for that.
Hard, man. Y'all are killing it.
Yeah.
Who do y'all look to? Like, is there a model that you're following that you really like in terms of franchise? Is there some corporation you're like, I'm pulling from that?
I kind of like the McDonald's model, how they actually buy the buildings and prep them for the franchises. So we consider that, especially given that deal that we did where we sold it already running. You know what I mean? So.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we find dope people that do really, really dope stuff. High-level entrepreneurs, people that have proven receipts. Y'all got receipts, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, y'all not sorry. Teaching. There's bad. And I get it a lot. There are entrepreneurs that I coach and they want me. I don't really coach a lot. I don't do any one-on-one. But like when people ask for advice, they're like, hey man, how do I do this? And I want to be a speaker. And I'm like, what did you do? What did you win at? Right. You know, it always got to be business. If you figure out how to get over depression, speak on that.
Exactly.
But people be wanting to talk about business because it sounds good.
I know, right?
It ain't sweet. It
ain't as sweet as it looks, for sure.
So we got a brand new, I've never actually interviewed anyone who does y'all business model. So I'll let y'all introduce yourselves and kind of share your experience.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'm Patrice McKinney. I go by Sway Pro on social media. Founder and owner of Encore Salon Suites. So basically, it's the newest concept in the hair beauty industry. So we take like a large commercial space, break it into smaller spaces, and then we lease it out to different beauty professionals. So that can be like a hairstylist, a barber, lash tech, anyone in the hair, beauty, and spa industry. And so what it does is allow them the opportunity to independently own their business, like without all the overhead. Like we truly are just like landlords. So we lease out space that's probably like 95 to 120 square feet. We allow them to come in and decorate it. They have a business license, and we literally just collect rent once the suites are full. So it works for the owner and for the beauty professionals because everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody wants to be a business owner, so they get to truly just take full control of their business. So
it's almost like, why didn't I think about that? Build it and break it down. And
no, seriously.
Better than real estate.
Yep. I tell people all the time, we take space the size of like a bathroom, literally of 95 to 110 square feet, and generate like $1,000 to $1,500 off of just that one suite. So we put 16, 20, 25 in one building. Salon real estate.
That's crazy. That's lit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm Sharice. I'm the president of Encore Salon Suites. So I pretty much just handle all the operational side of stuff, make sure we got our systems and process and things in place to make sure we run smoothly and make sure our franchises run smoothly as well. So
Got you. All right. So hold on. You're Sharice.
Yeah.
And you are
Patrice. I go by
Patrice.
Sway.
Okay, but Sway.
Yep.
Sharice and Patrice. All right. So you are you're identical. It's not unidentical. It's identical and
unidentical.
Fraternal.
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 F-R-A-T.
Identical and fraternal.
Correct.
Okay, which one of y'all?
Identical.
yes.
Identical means what?
Same chromosomes. So kind of like eyes, nose, mouth, those type of features are the same versus fraternal. They're twins, in the same womb, born together, but they'll have different features for the most part. So they won't look as identical. They could look totally different. So we have younger twin sisters as well. So,
really?
Yeah. My mom actually had 3 sets, but she lost one set, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a younger set that's Jaleese and Lanice. And they are identical.
They are, but they don't look like...
Right. They look slightly different, but again, to my point, the chromosomes are the same. So they look alike, but one's just slightly taller, one's slightly darker.
Gotcha.
Other than that, they're identical. But yeah, we are a twin-filled family.
Gotcha. So Dang, so your mom just hit.
Hit two at a time.
That's crazy. How does that happen?
I don't know. We'll have to.
Is there something
They
in her?
say it runs in the family. They say it skips generations.
Right.
But I don't know how really true that is. So. But we have like twin cousins too. So
really? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's just all of y'all family.
Yeah.
So what do they do? What are your younger?
So they're actually trying to find themselves. Actually, one of them does. She does some of the marketing actually for Encore.
Oh, nice.
So she does like our social media posting and stuff like that. The other one's still trying to figure it out. She likes to work with kids and stuff. So they're 22. Their birthday's actually today. So.
Oh wow, dope. Okay, so Sway, you started this concept, right?
I did. Yep.
So what were you doing before you started it?
I was just cutting. So I was a barber stylist myself. Did really good at that. Was able to scale myself like within a year. And then what happened was I actually was, it was a place here in Atlanta and I walked into it. And the guy, he did the same thing, but except he had big suites. So you could literally take a suite and put like 6 chairs in it and have a full out salon or barbershop.
Gotcha.
So that's actually what I did. But while I was there, I noticed just a lot of things that he could do differently. I was like, dang, it just seems like he's stressing about it. And so I really just stayed there to learn it. He opened a new location and I went there literally before the walls was up. And I just kept going up there like I was a contractor, just watching them like, okay, they did that. Okay, they did that. So I was like, I'm going to start working in there too, just to see how it goes. And me being a beauty professional myself, I think I have the advantage because I actually worked in it. So I know what we really need and what's important to us.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Were you looking at it from the perspective of, I want to do this, or was it just interesting?
It was, I wanted to do this because I actually always wanted to be in the hair and beauty industry. Like we come from that. My mom was in the hair and beauty industry. Twin actually was a braider first. And then I think you stopped because your back hurt?
Yep.
She was like a top braider. So then I just always wanted to do it, but I was a basketball star and everybody was putting that pressure on me like, go to the league. I'm like, I want to be a barber. They're like, no, you're not going to make any money. And I'm like, but I did some research and I saw some people that's making some money. So that's pretty much how that happens.
Gotcha. So you're a barber and you're in one of the models. You're like, I can do that myself.
I can do that. So I wanted to do a barbershop. That's what I was getting at. I wanted to do a barbershop. And then I went in here and I went around, I counted those rooms like 250. Because I know I'm paying him 250.
Right.
She paying him 250. I was like, a week.
A week?
This is a week. 250 to 350, 400 a week they're paying for these. They're paying more for these suites than they are for rent, mortgage, like, because it's their job and they spend so much time there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how much we make a week. So I walked around and I was like, this is really lucrative and it's really semi-absentee because the difference is I don't have to find their clients. I don't have to market them. I don't have to micromanage them. I literally get them the keys, make sure they don't mess up the walls and the floor, and they run their business. So it's truly semi-absentee, especially with the systems we have in place. Like we have a software. We've automated all of our communications, our payments, everything. So
that is hard.
It's pretty dope.
Okay, so you're a barber. You're looking at it. Where are you in this process?
And
what year was this you started?
2013, I got my barber's license.
2013, barber's license. Yep. When did you
start the Salon Suites? About 4 years ago, so 2017 actually.
Gotcha. So 4-year process.
Yep, actually 2016 because I had a partner first before I started the Encore brand. I did a year with him and then I started the Encore brand in 2017.
Gotcha. Okay, so Sharice, where were you?
So I was doing my corporate thing at that time, really. So just
where?
Samsung. Okay. I was pretty much launching the accessories. So from an AT&T side, so anything on the shelves, I was responsible for that from the beginning to sample products all the way till it hit the stores. So it was a pretty big role. And so I just feel like I learned, I was just not knowing what the future would hold at that moment. We were kind of wrapping up what we previously did, music and stuff like that. So we were kind of on our own little lanes. So I was just really strictly doing my corporate thing and just mastering that at the moment.
Yeah, got you. So did you enjoy corporate?
I had moments where I think I enjoyed just learning, becoming a boss. Like I appreciated that aspect of it, but I knew that was never where I would end up. I knew that wasn't ultimately where I wanted to be. I initially, like she said, used to do hair. So I was doing hair. And then after I had my son, which is where I was kind of struggling to keep continuously doing hair because I would just braid all day. So that's where I got into the corporate. And I just knew then, I'm like, okay, I want to, the current job prior to was just traveling and I knew I wanted to do that. So I was just like, okay, I think I really want to be like a 6-figure boss lady. So I just kind of set my mind on that and really made sure I went and landed those type of roles. So it was fun while it lasted in some aspects, but I knew that it was temporary and I definitely had a bigger vision.
Got you. So when you say like a 6-figure boss lady, were you thinking, I like the fact of managing people or I want to be my own entrepreneur?
At that moment, I wasn't at my entrepreneur phase. I think I was just seeing the executives within the corporate aspect of them coming and running, and me being a young Black female. It was predominantly white men, so I kind of think I liked that aspect of it. I feel like everybody liked me. I always came in and shut it down, like really. So that just was something that I enjoyed, I guess, that part of it. But
got you.
Yep, it was throughout the years as I did that and realized how good I was with my work ethic that I realized that I could go beyond that and that I could become an entrepreneur. So that's where that vision came into place.
So when y'all, so when did you leave your job?
Last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
She was making too much money for you. Hold on.
I'm like,
So how did that conversation happen? Were you in the business kinda at all?
No. Well, I've always fully supported her so much that I was always involved in just from a support perspective. You know, I was always just at every event, going through at the permit place with her, going through all the challenges with her, but I wasn't really working with her, working for her, nothing like that. So it was really, you know, my one thing that's dope about my twin is she's always wanted me to eat with her. You know what I'm saying? And I know that a lot of people, they tend to, I feel like your average person always just kind of wants to be the only one to shine or doesn't really, you know, some people get concerned with somebody coming and surpass them and things like that. And I've never felt that with my sister. And so she was, you know, real successful with the business. She like, Reese, you know, come over here with me. You got your corporate side. She knew I had a skill set that I could bring to it. Furthermore, she like, let's partner up. Let's do this thing. You know, we got a great pace going and a lot in store. So let's just come together and do it. So it was kind of conversations that we would just have here and there before we actually made the decision to really do it and make sure the timing was right and things like that. But
I had to try to match her pay too. So.
Yeah.
That was the question I was going to ask. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, that
definitely some numbers real quick. Like, give me 2 more months.
So you had the conversation. You're like, I'll leave, but I ain't trying to downgrade my lifestyle.
Right. And I mean, I was willing to take the sacrifice. It just had to make sense. I was living a certain lifestyle with a certain income. So I had to be smart about the adjustment and make sure. But Big Dog came through and
I heard that. Which one's
made
older?
it happen.
I am.
You're older?
Yes, I am. 12 minutes. I am big sis.
That's 12
big
minutes.
Sis. Yeah, 12 minutes.
Amazing. So like, take me back to like childhood. Like, what was this relationship like?
Very interesting. We're from Michigan. We're from Lansing, Michigan. So we've been in Atlanta 13 years now.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So the thing about twins, right, is like, it's cool because you're really close and you have a close friend, but you're always compared to each other. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. So back in the day, me being a tomboy, they were like, be a girl like your sister, right? Like your sister. And I'm like, I'm playing basketball.
Right.
Leave me alone.
You know
what I mean? So it's just like everything we did, we were kind of compared to each other. But one thing that we always kept with each other, we never were in competition. And we always just stayed best friends. We didn't let anybody on the outside interfere with us. But we've always been really, really close. We play basketball a lot. Yeah. Twin was on the basketball team, believe it or not.
You hoop too?
If I need to.
Right.
If I need to, but not professionally.
Look, Twin couldn't score, but she wasn't going to let you score.
Yeah, that's
killer defense.
Very.
So we were really close growing up. I went to college. We both went to college. I went to Michigan State, and then I went to Eastern Michigan. She went to Lansing Community College, right? And then, so we kind of separated a little bit then, came back. We went really full-blown into music. We went by Twin City. That was interesting, but it was fun because people liked us, like I said, because we're twins and we're different. Yeah. So that actually was the name of one of our albums, was The Same Difference. But that journey was fun.
Did y'all make money in music?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Was y'all popping in your city?
We were popping in our city. Like, we opened for Lil Wayne, Jeezy.
Word.
We did big shows. We're still famous in our city.
Just to bring it back a little bit, I know she kind of be sleeping on herself a little bit. I be having to remind her, but she was a real big basketball star, first of all, at Michigan State. She was on billboards, newspapers. You can still Google her. She was dunking a tennis ball until she tore her ACL. So she was like the star. She was selling out. They was always coming to see Patrice, number 34. I got it tatted on me.
Nice. I ain't gonna lie. I did slip my mom. I was really nice.
She was out there always with the guys, like always play like a guy, but she super excelled in that. And then like she said, went to college and I had my son and stayed home. And she actually had started rapping on her own. She had a little mixtape cover and all that. I'm like, hold up. I want a piece. You remember, she did so much she forgetting.
Were you rapping or singing?
I wasn't doing nothing at that time. I was mothering. I had a lot of fun. But I saw she just had her little mixtape cover and she did. So that's when she only did that one little first mixtape before we came together. And we really just blew up with that, just the whole twin look. And then we're just really well known in our city for a lot of good things. You know, just our mom was well known and everybody just know the twins. So, but we became real successful with that, which is what really led us to Atlanta because we were just opening up for, like you said, the Roots, Rick Ross. We were doing a lot of stuff. So we was like, okay, we got to take this to somewhere bigger, a bigger city where more opportunity. And Big Dog was like, really had just told the whole family, like, we leaving this day at this time. We out of here to go live a better life. Literally put it all together. We didn't have to do nothing but pack our bags. So it was me, her.
Where did money come from? I always get curious. People like, yo, I'm just packing them out. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, I need to eat. I need to find somewhere to stay.
Yeah. Now, I told them this a year in advance. So I gave myself a year to save up. So I was like, this time next year.
Yeah, we had a little time.
We out of here. But y'all get y'all mind right because we out of here. Because I actually had the opportunity to go play pro. And I decided not to, and I received a lot of backlash. Like, it was news articles.
They don't pay a lot of money, do they?
That was
how much?
Listen, the top player, the Michael Jordan at that time was getting like maybe 100,000, really more like 80, 90. And we're talking about like the number one draft pick. So the other players are getting like 30, 40,000.
That's what I was hearing, like 30, 40,000.
Because look, a lot of the NBA players, they have two jobs. They're coaches. If you notice, a lot of women's college coaches are WNBA players because they have to have a second job. So they either coach or they go overseas. And it sucks. They have to have two jobs. I mean, I make more than some of my WNBA friends, you know. And I was doing that then. So nothing against them. I understand some people are really passionate about it. But I was like, I'm going to try to own me a team. I was just thinking big. Come on, you're good. You can dunk. And I was just like, I just see something bigger. I'm not about to go to this league and still have to find another job, fly overseas just to survive. Like, it's not that deep. So
how long were you, when did you get into being a barber?
Soon as we left and moved here. We moved here for entertainment purposes. It was always on my mind. I just loved the smell and everything when I would walk into it. But when we came here, I was working a corporate job for temporarily. And I was like, no, I just can't do this. Let me just quit. So I quit. I went back. I had a good paying job. I went to work at Walmart overnight to quit that job, to sacrifice so that I could go to barber school. And so that was a rough transition, but it was well worth the sacrifice. Went to barber school and worked, juggled it, and then just took off from there.
Amazing. So I'm in the timeline now where you're kind of doing your research and you see the person that you pay rent to, like, yo, this is dope. The person that you were paying rent to, did he buy the building or was he leasing?
He was leasing.
He was leasing the building.
You can lease the building. You don't have to own it.
Do you lease your buildings or buy them?
I do currently lease them, but we are looking to try to buy some buildings.
What will be the benefit of buying over leasing other than
just exactly. We just have to find a good location with a good deal. We'd have to make sure that it's beneficial because it's really, you know, us leasing works perfectly fine.
Yeah. What's the benefit of leasing over owning?
That don't have to worry about, I guess, the big repairs and stuff like that. Maybe, you know what I mean? You said what?
Property maintenance.
Property maintenance, exactly. Stuff like that. If the location doesn't work out, the lease ends soon and I can take my business somewhere else or something like that. So
All right. So this concept is just genius.
It really is.
Because one, I think you're on the front of the trend of entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Nobody wants to work for nobody else. No, even in the barber space, right?
Yeah.
My barber actually just left because the owner, they just didn't come together. Yeah, they didn't agree. And they take so much money out of your check.
They do. Yeah. Especially if it's like commission.
Yeah.
Or if they pay booth rent. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So the first building, tell me the process of acquiring the first building.
Okay. I literally saved every little penny I had. I think I borrowed some money from you and one of your friends at the end of it because I had a partner, right? And the partner bailed out on me like literally after we signed the lease. And I'm like, really? We signed the lease? But I just kept pushing and
how much was the lease?
The lease for the down payment was like, what you mean, the term or the...
How much was how much was the, both?
We had to put down, I think, like $8,000.
Put down $8,000.
And then, you know, of course, we had to pay for the build out. The build out for that first location was around like $75,000. Because what it is was we found a location that was an old medical office. And so these are good buildings to actually transition into a salon suite because they already have the rooms, they have the electrical, the plumbing, and they usually put a lot of money into their build out. So for the most part, we just got to flip the floor and paint and stuff like that. Yeah. So that location, that build out didn't cost that much.
Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million a year, positive, you're going to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right? So in a calendar year, we make 7 figures with the podcast. But there's 21 things that I extracted from that you're going to need to launch your podcast. But I only got time to give you 3 right now. One is you need a distribution platform. The distribution platform is what you upload your podcast to. That platform sends it to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, so that your supporters can actually listen to your podcast. You're also going to need a microphone. You need a really good microphone so it's crispy audio. And 3, you need an income strategy. This is not necessarily a hobby, unless you're going to make it a hobby. But I can teach you how I made the 7 figures with these 21 things. Now, the good news is you don't have to give me 10,000. My ebook is only $37, okay? So listen, go to podcastebook.com and get the 21 things that you need. And I can explain it in detail, all the things that you need, okay? Podcastebook.com. Let's get to the episode.
So I was cutting at the location that I was at a partner with, which is in Buckhead or something like that. No, Midtown. I was a partner there, so I was cutting, but on the back end, I was trying to save up and get ready to do my own thing.
Gotcha.
I had a decent amount of money. I want to say I had like 50 or 60. So I was like, okay, cool, I can jump out there. I'll figure out the rest.
So you're cutting for a year. You saved up 50, 60,000.
Yeah, I did.
Gotcha.
I did. Gotcha. I was really just dedicated to just going to the next level. Like I was not playing. I wasn't buying stuff. I was sitting at home. I wasn't going out, nothing. Really just trying to dedicate myself to that. So found a realtor. We actually saw this location first, went and saw like maybe 20 other locations because everybody was like, well, it's by Bankhead and you by the hood and you shouldn't get that location. So I kind of steered away from it, but then end up coming back to it. And I was like, nah, I just see something in this location. Getting the location, that location is our number 1 location. We have like 100 people on the waiting list.
Dang,
super high demand.
Full.
Exactly.
What?
It stays full.
How many units is it?
That one only has 16.
So that has 16 units. It was $8,000 lease. You had to put about $75,000 into it. How much is the rent?
Rent was Rent is $3,700.
That ain't
bad at all. You do 16 suites now. So a single suite is $250, but if you do like a double suite, you can get like $350, $375 a week. So a double suite, we're talking maybe 150, 160 to 180 square feet for a double suite.
So how much does the first building gross?
Grosses $225,000.
Word?
Yep.
Dang, what's that, like $16,000 a month?
Yep, something like that.
Okay.
And the rent is $3,700.
Correct. Expenses, we net on that location with 16 suites, we net like 150. 150.
Really?
Yeah. And again, truly semi-absentee because of how we do it. Because we know other owners that
have to be there every day.
And just stressing every day and they just make it
when you're there, what do you got to do if everybody got their own
beg
units?
People for money, tell people not to do this, do that, true. Just get all in their business. And we just try to do a good job with making sure we try to find qualified professionals, which for the most part is somebody that already has clientele.
Yeah.
Like we don't allow people that don't have clientele to come into the Salon Suites because we believe you need to build your clientele. Yeah. Salon Suites don't really have walk-ins. It's not like your traditional salon or barbershop where people are coming in. And so you really need to have your clientele in place before you come. So we don't just take anybody's money. We make sure they're a good fit for us.
Got it.
So we won't have to deal with it later on. And we treat it just like an apartment complex. Like you sign a lease, you get a copy of your ID, all that stuff. So,
so you said you got 100 people on the waiting list.
We really have probably more. I mean, we've been compiling the wait list.
Right.
It's been growing for who knows, but
we can't even keep up with
we've got way more than that.
So, Sharice, when you're coming from the corporate realm, what was she doing wrong?
She was just all over the place.
I know. You me. You know
she was all over the place. I was like, I don't know how.
Hold on, you do what?
Listen.
They give you envelopes of cash. What are you talking about? So what did you have to fix?
Just really like systemize and process everything. So a lot of stuff she knew naturally just doing it by herself and all that, but she was just a little bit all over the place. She was succeeding though, so she was getting it done.
Sure. Oh, we could do it that way.
Right. But it was to just really systemize everything down to our onboarding process, the paperwork, just our offboarding process, just looking for the tenants, just
give me how the onboarding process was and like what you bring to the table.
It was her meet them and
you got bread.
Yeah, you got the bread. We good. Sign this. It was probably pretty much something like that. 5 different versions of the lease. Right, 5 different versions of the lease. Yes, it definitely was
Add different words
more than 5 versions of the lease. And some stuff in the lease that needed to be adjusted. So even going through the paperwork, so making sure our lease just really fulfilled us, covered us in every way that we needed it to cover us. Just even doing stuff like suite inspections, like they do at apartments and stuff, just making sure that their suite is okay, policies and things like that, getting systems and keyless entry. So processes with codes for the alarms and the music and just just overall salons, the suite management overall. Just really, truly, it's truly a process. So like our manager can go through and just really follow the steps and you really can't go too wrong.
Did y'all have a manager?
No, at that time, no.
So
I was working on myself for all
no.
those years, yes.
Wow.
No. But I even created a SOP to help us because, we're trying to grow we're improving our business and we have the franchise coming along. Standard operating procedure. Yeah. So for our franchise teams too, so that they can easily reference it so that we can really make sure everybody's on board. So not just making sure our locations are on point, but making sure our franchises are as well. So
I like that. That. So you came and said, yo, we need a manager. How long were you just running it yourself?
Up until less than a year ago, right? She came on board.
Right. 3 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 years doing everything. I mean, I was paying, putting wall base down. Yeah,
she was a contractor.
Wow.
She was the owner.
I was working in it for the first year, actually still cutting.
You had your own, gotcha. And when did you pull away?
I want to say like a year afterwards. I was like, I got to get out of here because, when the owner's there, everybody just got all these questions. Hey, Sway, hey. I'm like, now look, if I wasn't here, you wouldn't even ask me.
Right.
You know how that goes. So, plus I just really wanted to focus on the business side of it to really, truly grow it.
Gotcha.
So.
When you came on, did y'all have the second location already?
Yes.
So you first location is jumping, I'm out. You get the second location.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about the second location. Give me some specs on that.
Second location is in Marietta. That's our smallest location. So we have 11 suites.
Okay. The first one's 16 suites.
Yep.
West Side, Bankhead.
Yep.
And the second one, Marietta.
Yep. 11 suites.
Okay.
And then Sandy Springs has 24 suites. Marietta stumbled across, actually one of my contractors came across a building that he was about to tear down that was pretty much already suited out.
Oh, word.
So he called me over there to take a look. I think they were doing like they were selling hair or something prior to that. So they had like a little bar in the back, but for the most part, they had like 8 of the suites already there. So I just knocked down the bar, built up 3 suites,
Gotcha.
And that was pretty quick. So we did that in like 2 months, but I got real lucky with that location because my contractor found it.
So how much you had to put down?
That one, I want to say like a 7. I think it was about 7 too. Yeah.
And how much was construction?
That one was about 60.
Still another 60?
It was. Yep. It still was. I ain't gonna lie. I think they got over on me a little bit on that.
Yeah, because the first one you said was like 75, and that was like building out all of them, right?
Mm-hmm. No, well, not necessarily. It was the medical office, so it was already.
Right.
We only had to build 1 or 2 suites there.
I got you.
Yep, the other 14 were there. So these contractors, the second location, I went with a different contractor, and that was probably the decision right there, though. But they kept coming back and just saying it costs this, it costs that, and they got me a little bit on that one. But I learned a lot. So
that's how they do.
Yeah, that's definitely how they do.
How long did it take you to pack out that one?
That one took a little bit longer because I opened it pretty fast. So I want to say maybe like 2 months to be completely full, a month and a half, 2 months.
That ain't long.
But see, our goal, right? We like to pre-lease them. So we really like to try to be full before we even open.
That's hard.
Yeah. So we already releasing, giving virtual tours and all that. Like, look, this is coming soon. And people will actually put down deposits and stuff and pre-lease it before we even open. So that's what we try to shoot for.
And I would imagine that one costs more monthly. Yes?
What, Marietta?
Yeah.
Nope.
No?
Oh, as far as what? What you mean?
Like per month?
Nope.
No?
It's less, actually. It's smaller. So it costs less.
It's smaller, but it's a difference. Well, Marietta got different size.
Exactly. And Marietta's a little bit cheaper than Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So that one is more profitable, you think?
Nope, Atlanta is.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Atlanta's more profitable.
So
got a good deal.
Atlanta, we can charge a little more too because they got windows and some got private entries and things like that. In Atlanta and Marietta, they don't have those features.
So with this high demand, what stops you from raising rents incrementally?
Good question. Because that is a good question. We're still trying to stay competitive. Yeah. It's really growing big, especially here in Atlanta. Everybody's just throwing them up.
Oh, gotcha.
And then they like, look, give me $50, give me $75. So we're still trying to stay competitive. And we feel like we make a pretty decent amount of money to where we don't really have to. But when that 3-year increase kick in, we'll be.
Oh, yeah. How long do they sign the lease?
We offer them 6 months or 1 year starting out, and then after that, it just auto renew every year.
Same amount, same price?
Yep.
You know, that don't happen nowhere though.
Yeah.
In terms of like whether it's a apartment, this space was like $2,500 a month when we started. How much we pay now, Joe?
Yeah,
$3,200.
They go up
every year.
Every year.
Every year, my man come to me with another conversation. I'm like, bro, what's up with you?
Right. So we were talking about that maybe in like a year or two, but when we do the numbers, we're just kind of okay. So we don't want to mess with it if we don't have to.
Right. So I guess that's one part of it is you can, remain the same and just get another space to house the people that are waiting, or we can raise the rents and that makes sense. Yeah. So the third location is a franchisee.
This third location that we just opened is a corporate location. This is the first one we actually partnered on. So we're 50-50 on this Sandy Springs location.
Oh, so y'all have 3 total.
The Atlanta location, I actually transitioned to a franchise.
Okay.
So I owned it, I sold it to a franchise. So now they own it, and now it's actually a franchise. So now that one's a franchise, and then Merida and Sandy Springs are 2 corporate locations.
Got it. Oh, this is hard. The story gets deeper. You sold the first one.
I did.
So help me out. How did that come about?
So I was trying to sell a franchise, really. And so one trick we did, we put the business up for sale. Because my sales team said this was kind of a strategy that they use. They'll put it up for sale, get some leads, and then say, hey, it's not for sale, but do you want to do your own? But we had this group that was just really adamant, and they wanted to do a multi-unit deal, which means they wanted to lock down 3 units. So I was like, ooh. And the money was pretty good too. And it really, they say your first one is the hardest one to get. So I was like, ooh, if I can get this franchise, it'll kind of kick off everything. So we talked about it for a few months, and then we finally just closed the deal. Got a nice check from it, able to go and open another one. On top of the fact, like I said, they did a multi-unit deal. So they have to open 3. They're actually about to sign their second one this week. So they'll have 2 locations.
So the one that you sold, they give you a check up front.
Yep.
Do they give you royalties?
They still give me royalties.
Franchise?
Yep. So I still get royalties from it.
Gotcha. Yep. And is it like a percentage of sales?
It
or
is.
Is it just
it's 6% of the gross sales.
Got it.
Yeah. But when they do a multi-unit, we'll kind of negotiate, work some deals with them. They pay the franchise fee. So they had to pay me the franchise fee too, which is $35,000. And then they pay the royalties every week or every month.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So that play, because it seems like if the franchise, so first off, I can give you $35,000 and I could just use your whole name, brand.
Absolutely. And we're going to hold your hand and walk you through it. Now you still got to, this is where some people get confused. They be like, just $35,000? I'm like, no, you still got to pay for the build out for your business. But definitely, we literally hold your hand through.
35 is for your sauce.
Exactly. Our sauce, the blueprints, the automations, to really make it truly semi-absentee so you can have financial freedom and just freedom in life, period. So
I like that. Okay. So you charge the people $35,000 and then there's each location they have to pay the franchise fee?
Each location.
That's lit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, why, if you don't have to do nothing, why wouldn't you just keep your building? You know what I mean? Because if you make $150,000, right, and you don't got to really touch anything, but you're saying the play is get a first franchise, then start building out that way.
Right. And we know we were opening another one anyway. And like I said, the money I got from that, I can open 3 more. You know what I mean? So that's how I looked at it. On top of the fact that they still paying me royalties and they got to open 3 more on their end too. So
3 more franchise fees and 3 more royalties every year.
Which is going to help the overall brand just grow.
100%.
Right? I mean, which it has. Like we have a lot of leads coming from Florida and Texas,
Arizona.
This is crazy.
Isn't
this dope, Joe?
So look, that's why it's important too to make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Because people ask me like, which I'm sure you were probably going to ask, you're a good question asker. Why did you franchise, Sway? So it was a friend of mine, which wasn't even a close friend, just a guy I know that used to sell food at some of the Salon Suites. And one day he was like, Sway, you work so hard. Like, why don't you franchise? And I was like, what you mean? He was like, why don't you do like McDonald's? Like, let people open your brand. And you just kind of guide them. They give you royalties, explain the whole thing to me. So he just kept pressing me about it. And I was like, dang, And of course, we always just kind of count ourselves out and think something is too difficult or too complicated or like, oh, that seems like a lot of work. But I did a little bit of research and realized it's not as difficult as people think, especially if you find like a company, they pretty much help you franchise.
Gotcha.
So they pretty much do all the paperwork for you. Of course, you have to participate and provide the information and stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's why I always tell the story, because it's important to make sure you got people around you that have bigger visions too. Because I never thought about that. And then he put that in my ear, and here we are today, actually franchised, about to sell our second unit. So,
dang, that's dope.
Yeah.
So, Sharice, the third unit, it's 24.
24, yeah.
23 and then
23 in the content room. We put a content room in there for them to film like just their content and workshops and classes and things like that, courses.
Do they have to rent that out?
Yeah.
Or is it like a common?
They rent it out for a small fee.
Okay, got you. All right, so give me the deal, but give me the numbers behind this 24 unit.
That one was a whole nother ball game, right? This was my first time. So this was new to me coming on the stand experience. The whole experience was just mind blowing. I've learned a lot, but this was our biggest one.
It is. And our first full build out.
Yeah, and our first complete. Right.
So it was just 4 walls.
Just an empty space. Yes. Yeah. Pretty long. When you walk in, it's deceiving because you walk in and it's huge. But yeah, I don't know. What did you pay for?
How many square feet is it?
4,900. Yeah. 49.
Okay, got you.
And so we built this one throughout the pandemic, which just really kicked our butt.
Oh,
man,
don't get me started. I'm triggered.
Listen, a build out that should have been about 150 ended up being like 250.
Yeah.
Just the material was, well,
for 9 months, maybe?
I was saying 8 months, something. Yeah. It was about 8 months. Our contractors could have did faster. They just they had like 1 or 2 guys working in there, but that's another story. But the material, supplies, delays.
Everything was triple.
Yeah.
Complete build out, meaning you had to run electrical as well?
Correct. Okay. Electrical, plumbing, walls, everything.
Build out all the suites.
Everything.
So it's just 4 walls when you walked in.
Exactly.
Literally.
Got you.
Yeah.
So, okay, how much was that one?
So the build out was about 250.
Build out's 250.
Yeah, we got some TI from it, tenant improvement, from the landlord.
Did they delay your rent?
They did. They did work with us a little bit.
Yeah.
They did. So we're thankful for that, because I know some landlords didn't. So
and did they put any money in?
Yeah,
the tenant improvement.
Yeah, okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So that's basically where, they give you the money back after you put into the, after you pay for the build
All of
out.
it?
No. So you negotiate it before you sign the lease. And it's one thing we always tell people, especially nowadays, to negotiate tenant improvement. Because sometimes they will literally pay for the full build out. They'll give you like 100,000, 150,000.
Yeah.
But they want you to build it out first, and then after like 30 days, they'll reimburse you.
Okay, got you.
So
on this space, like there was nothing in here. The HVAC, electrical, nothing. No one's ever been in. No walls, nothing. Absolutely not.
Okay.
So I think I forgot it was so long ago. But I think the landlord put up like 90,000.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Great.
Because like you're essentially improving someone else's building.
Exactly.
Right.
That you don't
own. And you said something important. If you don't negotiate that, you're putting all this money into somebody else's building.
Yes. And when you leave, they keeping all of that.
Yes.
Disgusting.
Especially that's why after the lease up, they're like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
We're going to do our own salon suites.
No, that's why. Seriously. So that's why it killed us to spend so much money on this build out throughout the pandemic. But, luckily we were just blessed enough to be able to get through it. So
yeah.
Did y'all cash it out? The 200? Or is y'all...
We
did a couple things.
Little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of
cash
both.
out, got a little money.
Little cash
with
credit.
Help out a little bit. But,
okay, gotcha.
So my first 2 locations, I did cash out, and I said I'm done doing that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not using my own money and find out how to use some other people's money. So
gotcha. And they ain't give you no reimbursement on no.
Those first 2 they didn't, but they gave me a great deal. Like I had got like 1 year free.
Oh wow.
And I had leased it up in like 30 days. So I know he was sick about it. So
all right,
11 months I was just collecting all profit.
Ooh, y'all some savvy business women, man.
I told him, I said, man, it's gonna take me some months to fill this thing up. Filled it up in like 3 weeks. Like, look, we
it's up. So what is y'all's secret sauce to running this business so smoothly?
Honestly, I promise you, real talk, it's her coming into it. Yes, I ran it smoothly, so people think, but they don't know I was at home going crazy. You hear anxiety, like that's one thing I regret is not getting help sooner. And I know sometimes we just can't afford help, and that's really the thing. Like I couldn't afford to pay nobody. But Twin coming in and really just relieving me of a lot and really just automating everything and just it's just so beautiful to see. I'll be about to cry. Like I've been looking at the spreadsheet and the documents you be sharing and the SOP. Like, oh my gosh!
Wow.
Like, it would have took me 2 hours to find this information. So, her coming has really just made it so much more smoother, especially for the franchises too.
Gotcha. So I guess go ahead.
I'm gonna say the other secret sauce is me being a beauty professional myself. Really, like I really worked in the suite. And I understood things that other owners who aren't beauty professionals didn't understand. Like, I know what we need.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I know to provide that a break room. You got to have a break room in there. try to get you some windows if you can, just so they're working in there 8 hours a day. Like they need to step out and see the sunlight and little stuff like that makes them want to stay with you for a long time.
For sure. So I want to get into this this franchise play.
Okay.
Is your objective to like, okay, y'all got 3, well, you gave 1 away, now you got 2.
Mm-hmm.
I gave 1 away, but you got 2. Is the objective to build more yourself or 100% franchise?
Twin wants to do one on her own, so I'll support that. I think I'm pretty much done doing the corporate locations. I'd rather just do the franchise and focus on other business ventures.
How does that work in terms of so I know you said you got 1, y'all got 1 together.
Yeah.
So if you go get 1 yourself, how does that work in this business partnership?
I'll be following our blueprint and, I'll have somebody run it. So, I would really just more so be managing the project aspect of it, making, the location, picking it, getting it up and running.
But I'm saying, is it like, okay, is it you would pay the company the franchise fee and you operate it, and obviously you may have a percentage.
I don't know. Are you going to charge me the franchise fee?
Absolutely not. No, we're going to make it a corporate location.
No.
Yeah, I ain't going to make it it like in a franchise.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to just...
It's going to be a corporate
location. Yeah, it's just going to be her own corporate location.
And I may change my mind. At this point, we're going so fast with the franchise and so much. That was just something I always said, well, I want to just have one of my own and to kind of give my son a slight experience. So I was kind of thinking about that, like kind of sharing the experience with him. But yeah,
I would just let her do it.
Yeah, it would just be, I got one, she got one, we got one together.
I want to invite you to pick my brain.
Mine too.
Yours too?
Mine too.
Yours too. Okay, you guys. We are so excited because we just dropped our newest podcast series called the Brain Picker Podcast. David.
Oh, it's going down. You get to pick our brain. You have a business idea, a concept. You're stuck. You can't get off the ground. You need the advice of seasoned, experienced entrepreneurs. Not only entrepreneurs that are practitioners, but we got a lot of people that we've been coaching all over the last decade.
All over the globe.
They got receipts.
Not just that, you never know where your next investor might be hanging out. And the word on the street is, we got all the connections.
That's a big fact.
We got all the connections. So if you want to sit down with us and pick our brains.
In front of our audience.
And we're letting you pick our brains. We won't even talk bad about you for doing it in front of our audience, bringing your business maximum exposure. Find the link somewhere around here, wherever you see it.
It's there.
And apply
right now
to pick our brain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
I see.
Yeah, corporate.
Oh, but hold on. Okay, real quick.
Okay.
You got her off her job paying her.
Right.
So obviously you were making money you were paying her out of the money that you were making from the first 2 locations.
Correct.
Then y'all open this third one together.
Right.
So how do y'all split that? Like, how do y'all what's the payroll?
So that payroll about to stop. Right?
For sure.
Okay, that's what
I'm thinking. I'm like,
dang, 2 more weeks
you
for that,
double
right?
dipping? Like, you pay you and you get a profit?
So
okay, I see.
we just opened. I'm going to give her a few more weeks. You know what I mean? Probably like April 1st, something like that, like in a month or something like that. But yeah, so I will cut back on the payroll and then she'll just take her profit from that location.
Right.
And go on by her business.
And we'll be a little more alongside each other. Me jumping in at first, I was doing a lot, like just really building the business up, and the location wasn't open. So it was kind of that gray area of getting the company up and running while we get the location up and running. So to her point, now that that's up and running, I'm sure she's definitely
gotcha. So, but as of now, you get the payroll and you get to split the profits.
We just started.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
haven't
not
really
like
made profits just yet. We literally just opened.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So that's why I say I'm going to give her
some I'm not quite double dipping just yet.
Oh, no. So, okay, this makes a little more sense to me now, where you can go get your own location. You're responsible for that. You put all the money up. You make the money, too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Exactly, yeah.
And it still looks good for the expansion of the business.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They won't know who owns what.
Right. Just another corporate location at the end of the day.
That's dope. That's dope. Your first franchisee, they're happy?
Very happy. Literally.
They walked in the money though. So.
They walked in
they did. They did that part. And then what was it? August we did the deal and they're trying to lock down 2 locations at the same time. They want to do 2 build outs. That's how happy they are.
Let me get your second joint.
Go ahead. We can talk about it.
Right.
We can definitely talk
I
about
want
it.
the same
Listen,
deal.
Because look, no, this is the thing though. When I tell you we have so many people who want to buy these things from us, I told Twin, look, we might as well build these things up, sell them for close to $1 million, and keep going.
Slow down.
And just to add to it,
with the whole close to $1 million thing. Don't start the.
Look,
I want yesterday's price.
Some big
I know yesterday. I know yesterday's price and today's price. Let me get yesterday's price. This is lit, man.
Yeah, it is pretty lit.
And you said some people from out of town are reaching out, right?
Yep.
Oh, we get leads every day.
Yeah, we talk to people almost
even
every
our
day.
suites. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We get inquiries every day. Like I know people are always amazed at her online presence and her just Google analytics and things like that, just by naturally, organically, really growing our brand. And that's one thing that's another advantage we have is our brand just overall that she definitely built. So that's why even our Sandy Springs location prior to opening it, we've been getting inquiries on that location since like September. I mean, just loaded up where people were just waiting for it. And it truly is, like she said, we have the waiting list at Atlanta. The demand is there. But even with the franchises, the demand is just really picked up. It's really there. We get increased all the time. A lot from Florida, like she said, Texas, Arizona. And we get a lot of different types of people. You know, it's actually quite nice. It's quite diverse, the people that reach out. So
Gotcha. That's dope.
Yep, and like the biggest difference between our concept and our competitors, there's other salon suite businesses that have like 200, 250 locations, right? The biggest difference is we do it a little different. Instead of furnishing every suite, so instead of putting like a shampoo bowl and a dryer and a chair in every suite, we actually do majority unfurnished suites. And so I did a poll with a lot of people in Georgia, a lot of beauty professionals in Georgia, and asked them, do they prefer furnished or unfurnished? Majority unfurnished because they really want to customize it. They want to bring an orange chair, a purple chair instead of our standard black chair. So that's the biggest difference. So what we do is we just create a share space. We put like a little corner, put some shampoo bowls and some dryers in there, and they can use that space. So the benefit of that is that we save a lot of money in the build out because we don't have to run plumbing through every suite. We don't have to furnish every suite. But it also allows the beauty professionals to really just be social and get to meet each other instead of being so private. You never have to go out your suite. So then they become friends. Like we're clicked up over there. So everybody's friends. They don't want to leave. Our turnover rate is super low. Yeah. So it's a win-win for both of us. You know, they could be private and they can step out, have a little conversation, go back to their room. Right. So that's how we make up for that.
Hard, man. Y'all are killing it.
Yeah.
Who do y'all look to? Like, is there a model that you're following that you really like in terms of franchise? Is there some corporation you're like, I'm pulling from that?
I kind of like the McDonald's model, how they actually buy the buildings and prep them for the franchises. So we consider that, especially given that deal that we did where we sold it already running. You know what I mean? So for the most part, that business model is what we're kind of.
Anybody else that you like?
I don't have anybody in mind. I feel like I'm just kind of growing and learning and just trying things out and just trying to figure out what works for us. And
I like what Dennis does with Crew Lounge. Here, most of them are here in Georgia. Crew Lounge, I'm not sure if you heard that, but he's growing really fast. So I don't know what he's doing, but his franchise has grown really rapidly.
How many franchises you got?
Like 20 some. He got about almost 10 here in Atlanta. Crew Lounge. You never heard of Crew?
I heard of Crew Lounge, yeah, but I thought
it's about 7 or 8 of them here. He popping them things up. You know, they're pretty small, so they don't need a lot of money to open them, but they're still lucrative. So
they stay packed out.
They stay packed out.
And what do you think the drawbacks of franchising is?
I don't think there's too many with our business model because it's not like we're at McDonald's. We got to go make sure the fryers are working, make sure you got the right burgers and breads. Like it's just like put them walls up, FaceTime us real quick. That look good. Okay, cool. You good? We're gonna email you these documents, log into this software, and you good to go. Call us if you need anything. We ain't gotta fly in. But we will do that initial. We will go to the location for the first, couple of weeks or whatever. But
and as long as they following our model, like, with just even with our cleaning team process and all that, I feel like that would be my only thought is making sure the Encores are a reflection of what our business is. So I think if they follow our blueprint down to even the cleaning process, that everything should be up to par for the most part.
Gotcha.
You can only control the people so much, but.
Gotcha. Are y'all dating?
Are we dating?
How's the...
Oh yeah, I'm engaged.
You're engaged? Congratulations.
Yep, thank you.
I know I'm not.
No?
Single and mingling.
So how did you meet them through this entrepreneurial journey or before or?
Right at the beginning, actually. I remember I went to a bar. She's a bartender. I was giving me a little drink. I was like, Shotty look kind of cute. All right. You know what I mean? What you doing? How your number? Can I get your number? So that was actually like right when I was looking for the first location. Because I actually...
So while you were a barber?
Well, I was a barber, right?
Wow, she got to see this whole journey.
She did. Let me tell you how focused I was. You know what our first day was? To go tour that Atlanta location. I said, come on. We about to go
up front. This is who I am.
This is who I am.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
She in there like, what are we doing? I don't know what to do. I'm like, yeah, okay. The walls here, the floor here. Okay, now we can go have
That's dope. So she could never say, oh, you be too busy. Listen, our first date was
our first date was working. Seriously. So, but yeah, she's been with me throughout the entire process. So she definitely
She entrepreneur?
Kind of, sort of, but she works at a lounge right now, so she's a bartender. But she does her bartending on the side, so she is. I'm trying to get her to grow her bartending services.
Got you.
Do private events and stuff like that. So.
Got it. So the streets be calling, or
the streets be calling? No, you know, I've came out of something a year or two ago that was just really rough. So I just really wanted to focus on myself and make sure I was the woman I wanted to be so that I could attract the man that I wanted. Because I feel like that was part of my problem at that time. So I just really focused and tuned in. And I got my son. He fulfills me a lot. So he adds some joy to my life. And I just really tapped in with transitioning from corporate audit. I don't even think I had the time for it. I mean, I think it would have been tough. You know, relationships sometimes can be a distraction. So I feel like the timing was perfect for me to really elevate and transition while being single.
100%.
But yeah, I'm hoping Mr. Right comes at the right time.
He coming. Where you at, babe? Where you at?
100%.
He coming after this.
I was about to say that. Ask Joe. Joe, what's happening right now in these streets?
It's getting a little weird out here.
Davey on Joe head. It's crazy.
They're going to be like, I saw you up there talking to David.
Yo, so let me ask, this might kind of like off subject, but was there like a conversation when y'all had started talking about like sexual preference? Did you like come to her like, hey sis?
That's a good question, baby.
Well, cheerleader.
That's a fire question.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Those were definitely my thoughts, for them. Like, at the cheerleaders, like, I used to score just for them. But what's funny though is that all this, it was a period of time where I thought she knew, but I was still trying to hide it. Because I did have a boyfriend, you know, I had a little cover up. But I actually did try to be a girlfriend to him. I actually did try to be a girlfriend to him. Just because they said I was supposed to.
How old was this?
This was high school. He was actually a popular boy, so I thought he was playing with me. Because I'm like, you don't like me for real. You don't like me for real. It's too many feminine girls, but he would walk me to the bus stop and everything. And I just didn't even know how to act. I was sit in the car. I'm like, I don't even know how to sit my hand and be a lady for him. I'm trying to be a lady for him. But it was so uncomfortable. But the whole time I thought Twin knew. And I think how did we come out? I think I told you.
I just remember in the basement. Yeah, you just was saying you wanted to tell me something. I don't know
you were so surprised.
I
was
know.
Like, cut it out.
When I looked back though, when I looked back, I was like, damn. Like I really felt like, I guess it's because this is my twin and she just right here. I'm not even like, I don't know. When I look back, I was just like, how did you not know? Kind of really, but.
And you were so overprotective over me because, again, we were always compared. So I got picked on a lot when I was younger.
Really?
And yes, and twin. And then I had like a skin condition where I had like some stuff on my neck. And I would be on a basketball team, pass the ball, David, don't nobody catch it. I'm like, dang. So I was going through it. But twin was like my security. You hear me? Walk me to the bus, make sure nobody mess with me. So she probably wasn't even thinking about it at that time.
I was just protecting her at that point. Yeah. I think it was that. Like I wasn't even.
Well, when did you know though?
When I was about 6, 7.
Really?
About 6, 7, I remember watching Ricky Lake. I'm dead serious. And I was like, dang, she is so pretty. Like, oh my gosh, I wonder if I would grow up and be with a woman. Like, so I had thoughts of it, but I didn't actually have a girlfriend until like my junior year in high school.
That was after the boyfriend?
Yeah. Now, it was still some boyfriends kind of in between there a little bit as I was transitioning.
Oh, gotcha.
They was popping in and out. You know, I was still trying to, the pressure of like having a boyfriend. So I still had a few boyfriends. I think even in college, I had a boyfriend briefly, if that's what you want to call him. Yeah. I just regretted saying that. He wasn't even a boyfriend for real.
Like, what? I would like to know what that's like that's going through your head, because it's especially your family. It's like, what is the coming out process like?
Man, it's different for everybody and it's tough. And I will say that I was blessed that mine wasn't so tough. My mom found out because she was nosy and went in my backpack, okay? And so she found a letter from a girl where it was obvious that we was having some relations. And I remember she was really, really disappointed. I remember she had this big, like the gallon bottle of Hennessy, because I had never even seen a big bottle. And when she saw it, she grabbed a bottle, she went out, she said some words to me, she came back home. But I will say the next day, it was almost like nothing happened. Good. She never made me feel anything. She just kept reassuring me it was okay. I'm sure she just felt the pressure too of having a gay daughter, right. You know what I mean? So her initial reaction was just like, and it's just been awesome since then. Wow. My family, I feel like most of them are pretty supportive. I think there were some of them who may not have been supportive, but they didn't say nothing. Yeah. And one thing I tell people, when you take care of business, can't nobody say nothing to you. Hello? Can't nobody say nothing to me. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I'm doing good. I ain't out here killing nobody. Amazing. What can you really say to me? I'm a great person. So if they felt the way, they didn't tell me. But I've had friends that came out and their parents disown them and things like that. So I've seen some ugly situations. So I'm blessed that my mom just always had my back. And my twin, definitely. Wow. Twin don't play about me.
And you said you were just surprised.
At that moment, yeah. I was. But after that, it wasn't nothing to me. If anything, I just went back in protection mode, or probably even more protective mode. I felt like, just especially back then, I feel like it's a lot more accepted now. But back then, it was definitely
100%. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Because I remember literally, I was like living two different lives.
Yeah, she totally was.
I lived in Lansing where all my family was there. I went to this was high school. So I was still pretty known. I was a basketball player, so I was pretty popular. But I would literally pack my clothes, dress girly, all sweaty and tight clothes, and then drive like to Detroit. As soon as I cross that Detroit border, I pull over to that store, put my clothes on, and be myself. When I head home, I would switch back, but I literally was doing that because it was like Detroit was more, nobody really knew me, and it was just a little more accepted there as opposed to my smaller city. So I could go there and just be myself and really just make sure like this is who I wanted to be. And I remember just one day just saying, like, F this. Like, I'm just tired of doing things for other people, even when I would have relations with guys, it just never felt right. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is just not what I want to do. And I'm sick of trying to do it just because people think it's what I'm supposed to do. And one day I was just like, man, look, I know I'm going to be good. I know I'm going to be able to take care of myself. I'm going to be a great person. I'm just be who I'm going to be. Yeah. And it wasn't easy, but I slowly just kind of stepped into it and just started just accepting myself. You know what I mean? So
you're just a lit person.
Absolutely.
Like her personality is just like electrifying almost. Yes. Like the people tell you that they're just so attracted to you as a person, not in a sexual way, just attracted to you, the person. Yeah. You're just like, I appreciate that. It's like both of y'all are just like so smart and both so attractive and just almost fearless. Y'all just go on and get it.
Yes.
That is awesome.
And it helps having each other. Like, seriously. Like, I say all the time, I don't know how people live without a twin.
No, for real.
Because, like, just my number one support system, somebody you can just trust, confide in, who gonna be real with you.
But I know not all twins are that close, but we are definitely extremely close. We talk every day.
That's clear. She's being modest. Let me tell you how amazing she is. No, she's being modest. Let me tell you how amazing she is. I'm like, y'all love each other. Real.
No, for real though, because we go back and forth. Like, we literally, like, she'll be like, I just want to thank you, Sway, for just such and such. And I give it right back. But I just want to thank you. And she'll be like, but you motivated me. And I'm like, but true story, right? Because I did start off my entrepreneur journey a little, I guess I succeed a little sooner than she did. But the reality of it is, when I was playing basketball in college and she was working, doing her corporate thing, I really looked up to her because she had got her apartment, she got a car. And I remember being in college like, dang, my sister really doing it. Like, she really showing me that we could be independent. So we just kind of ping pong off of motivating each other. Like, she really motivated me to do my thing too. Even seeing her in the corporate world, like, she was killing it in front of those guys and stuff. So we just kind of kept motivating each other. It was never a jealousy thing, never competition. It was just like, okay, you doing that? Cool. Well, let me try to do this. Okay, you doing that? So we just really motivate each other.
Yeah, my brother growing up, we fought all the time. Man. Oh, he's an older brother too. Like, we really didn't like each other for a long time.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, until we were able to separate, like, and not be in the same house.
I got you.
Yeah,
I know some siblings like that. Yeah, we still traumatized from our one little fight.
Y'all had one fight growing up?
You better not.
We're gonna have to now.
You know David gonna make sure
we've got to now. Let's go there. Let's do it.
Let's go there.
What happened?
Talk about the fight.
The one with your eye.
Ooh, dang.
Okay, yeah, I want to hear, Teresa, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I want to hear from you. Tell them about that.
I don't even remember how it started. I just know I accidentally did hit her eye, and I just know you for like
you definitely did it
ate me alive.
But I don't think you didn't hit me. You pushed me or something. Remember, I hit my eye on the corner of the bed.
Okay, I don't know what it was. I just know it was my doing. That was a while back. That was when our first fight. We only fought twice, right? only beat twice, right? Quit playing right now on the show.
What's up? No, but yeah, that was like we were teenagers.
Yeah.
It was like, we ain't fought like
we ain't really like full out fought ever. But
so the story was I hit my eye and it was like red and it just made her feel terrible. She just cried all day about it. We both just felt bad.
Right.
We didn't even fight like
What
that.
kind of family is this?
We so sensitive when it comes to each other.
Yeah, when it comes to each other, it's just like crazy.
It's amazing just to have somebody
Absolutely.
got your back.
No, for real.
Unadulterated, like
for real.
No expectations. I just love you for you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And even if we do, of course, we do have disagreements and stuff
for
like that. You know, we handle it maturely. We just shake it off. We know how to handle each other. So
like she said, just even the comparison thing, she's always done a great job. Because to her point, like she said, she's reached that level before me. So I just feel like she always did a great job of not making me feel less than. Yeah. And even just going back to just when we were younger and a certain someone would give her stuff and not give me stuff. And she's the type that would...
We can talk about that?
No.
Our dad.
Well, our dad,
yeah. He would kind of favor me.
She was a star and everything. So I think everybody kind of favored her a little bit more. She was a true star. At this point, I was really just on the basketball team because the twin thing. I was championship game. I knew I wasn't playing. I went and got my hair done and all that. But and on the front of the billboard like this and ain't played not 1 second. But catch me on the billboard. But yeah, he would give her money, come to her games. Our games was back to back, give her money, just give her much more attention. And I think because of at that time she was getting a lot more. And she just never made me feel less than. So even with that, she'd come split the money with me. She never kept it a secret. She never, even when people, just with anything, like she's just never made me feel less than, even when I might have felt it. So I just admire her so much for that. So
my dog.
My dog.
Look, man, I appreciate y'all coming on. I gotta do a quick commercial, then I'm gonna have y'all close this out. Okay. You do teach.
I do. Yeah. Okay. So I teach people how to start their own salon suite business. So I have a course online just showing you from the first step, finding a location, to finding a contractor, the build out phase, pre-leasing. I provide all the documents and everything like that. On top of the fact, I also teach beauty professionals in general. So hairstylists, barbers, lash techs. I teach them how to do exactly what I did and scale to 6 figures in a short period of time. But just how to make their business professional, how to really stand out in a saturated industry. Because it's one of the best industries in the world. It's truly recession-proof, but it's a lot of people in it. It's a lot of people who get stuck behind the chair. You know, you get injured or something. How do you retire? How do you scale? We don't get promotions. When do you raise your prices? How to create a VIP ticket, VIP service. So I teach them all of that stuff, just how to truly scale to 6, even 7 figures if they really tap into the industry, because it's a lot of money in this industry. So I have a 6-figure beauty pro course as well.
Gotcha. All right, we're going to tell everybody about the course in just a second. I got to do a quick commercial. Got to pay some bills because they ain't paid nothing to see this.
I got to pay them bills
I got to pay some bills. So listen, this episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup. TheMorningMeetup.com is the only organization that gathers every single day. I'm going to tell you all about Morning Meetup.
Okay, I know about it.
Every single day. You in it?
No, I was in the little free trial, but I'm going to sign up though.
And then she done got off the free trial. Wasn't it amazing though?
It was though. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, my friend is in it. So she always tells me how great it is.
So The Morning Meetup, it's like, for one, there's literally, we range somewhere between 500 and 700 people on a call every single morning.
Wow.
This morning, maybe like 560 or something like that. Wow. And we'll have a theme for the month. And every day, Monday through Friday, throughout the week, we talk about the theme of the month. Like this month is, what's the name of it? What's the theme for this month? It's like, what's going on inside your brain or something like that. Okay. So we're going to attack like mental blocks that are happening inside it. We have to take an x-ray and examine what's going on in our brain that's not allowing us to succeed. So every call throughout the week will support that theme. And then we have a book club where I think we read 14 books last year. We read a chapter every single day. Really? And then we the next morning we come on and discuss the chapter that we all read. So we're all on the same page, literally. So yes, it's amazing. Go to TheMorningMeetup.com.
I definitely heard about it.
Yeah, how you gonna leave the trial?
I know. Hey. I'm gonna sign back up. Right. Because I know they get exclusive, they get invited to events.
100%.
Yeah,
absolutely. Stuff. Last one was lit. So so go to TheMorningMeetup.com. Check us out, y'all. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on your audio device and on YouTube if you're watching it. If you're listening, Spotify and Apple, just hit the little follow button. Okay. Thank you so much. So I got a question for you all before we wrap up. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Because I want to be able to watch this 5 years from today and say, yo, twins came on and said they were going to do that 5 years ago. Look, they did it. So, who want to start?
Go ahead, twin.
I see us just venturing into other forms of real estate, definitely being true millionaires and helping our people, which is one of the main things I know I want to do. So I love to eventually one day just have a portal that will provide all of that, how to buy a house, how to fix your credit, how to, when you get the money, what to invest in, you know, just to really help our people that are sometimes stuck. So I see us doing something in that limelight where we're just coaching, providing, feeding the world, as well as still growing ourselves again into maybe some other forms of real estate.
Gotcha. Okay. You actually have like a realtor outfit on today.
I've heard I look like a real
sell $1 million houses.
Yeah, 100%.
I've heard that.
Absolutely. You might go and get that license.
Right.
Just,
No, for real.
Sway, what you got? 5 years.
Let's see. 5 years, 15, 20 franchises for Encore. I would like to be a top motivational speaker. Definitely into real estate. And like Twin said, just giving back to the people, you know, just community service and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's for sure going to happen, man. So look, man, tell everybody how they can find you all, your business, and then individually, and just close us out with a word of wisdom. I think we'll put like a link in the bio or something for your course. Oh, real quick, can we have like a promo code? Like a discount to your course?
Absolutely.
Okay. Social proof? Just make it social proof.
Social proof.
I don't care how much it is.
Code. Yep.
So we'll figure out whatever it is. Y'all just go there, use social proof, and it will take something off, okay?
Yep. We'll do 40%. There it is right there, just for you.
That's
for the Salon Suite course. For the Salon Suite course.
I ain't gonna be that.
Only for that one.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay. Say less. See?
That's just for David. That's just for you, David.
I appreciate that. So let us know how we can find you, and then give us a word of wisdom to close us out. We want to start.
Okay, sure. So you all can find me on Instagram at Queen Reese. That's Queen, the one and only, Reese.
Okay. Give us a word of wisdom.
I would just say to discipline is just the number one thing that I feel like you need to succeed. So I would just say, if you want to be successful, have some discipline.
Yeah, work on that for sure.
For sure, absolutely. My social media handle is Sway, SWAY_the pro. You can find my Salon Suite course at thesalonsuitemodel.com. My 6-figure course is the 6figurebeautypro.com. And also, we have a teen book coming out for young adults actually in a few weeks where we're teaching them the basics of just like things that they don't teach in school. So it's called Real Lessons for Real Life, the things you don't learn in school. So we're teaching them just how to do an interview, how to start a business, what entrepreneurship truly is, even like how to be confident, how to deal with depression if a friend has depression. So we're going into so many things that they don't teach in school. And that's honestly one of my biggest, most exciting projects. But word of wisdom, I would say, is just making sure you have the right mindset first. I think mindset is so important before any of this. You know, you can be born into money, but if you don't have the right mindset, you could definitely lose it. So making sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people, making sure you're feeding yourself the right thing, whether it's just social media, food, all of that stuff, and making sure your mindset is right, and it'll be easier to accomplish your goals.
Absolutely. Listen, man, you can't close it out no better than that, man. Do yourself a favor. Go follow the twins, okay? You like when people call you Patrice? Or do you like, hey, like, don't call you Patrice, call me Sway?
No, I don't mind.
You cool? Okay, yeah, Patrice and Sharice. That's just a cool combination right there. Make sure y'all follow them, okay?
Check us out.
And also Encore Salon Suites.
Say it again?
And Encore Salon Suites. Make sure y'all check us out. Encore Salon Suites for any franchises or suite rentals.
Yep.
For sure. We'll have the links in there, so make sure y'all support and go get you some social proof, okay? Go build something. Absolutely. But it's very, very important that after you build it, you document the process, then bring it back to your community and teach somebody else how you did it. It's the only way our community grows, all right? We are out of here. Peace.